Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you're watching this broadcast. This is Dr. Eric Tankumonkem with iemapproach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. Before we move ahead, I want to give a big shout to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. God bless you for fantastic job you do as mothers. Without mothers, none of us will be here. It's a privilege to have been born. I want to welcome you to today's broadcast. Please do me a favor and invite other people to join us. If you like what you've been hearing so far, if the content of this broadcast has been a blessing to you, I want to encourage you to share it with other people. Don't just watch or listen alone. This broadcast is being streamed on multiple channels. Because of that, it's not going to be possible for me to interact with you live. However, I would like to hear from you. I would like to read your feedback. Any questions you have, any concerns you have, the number is 214-908-3963, 214-908-3963, and the email is eternalkingdom101@gmail.com, eternalkingdom101@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need any mentorship, if you need any coaching, if you need any resources. One of the reasons why we're having this conversation is to make sure you succeed, you do well, you don't fall through the cracks or make the same mistakes other people have made. Before we get into our topic today, which is something that I'm very excited about, I want to remind you that it's important for you to focus on your why on a daily basis. It's important for you to focus on the things that you have control over. It's critical for you to recognize those things you cannot change. And instead of you grumbling, complaining about those things, you should develop a heart of gratitude. You should instead be thankful for those things that you cannot change and they appear to be limitations on you. Let me say that again. When you get up each day, those things that you cannot change, for example, your skin color, your sex, we are either born male or female. There's nothing in between. If you don't like being a man, if you don't like being a woman, instead of complaining about it, grumbling about it, I want you to start being thankful. If you don't like your parents, if you don't like the continent you were born on, if you don't like when you were born, if you don't like where you were born, I want you to start being thankful. Do you want to experience geometric growth? One secret is that of embracing those things that you have zero control over. Zero control over. The sooner you realize that a mistake was not born to place you in a particular family, to be born at a particular time, the sooner you are going to find your purpose, the sooner you're going to achieve big things. It's very important. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your resources. Don't stress yourself out because you are who you are, and your parents will always be your parents. I say this because most of the times we can stop those things that we cannot change. We can make those things that we cannot change to become a stumbling block. Why are you bothering about something you cannot change? Why are you worried about it? It's a dead end. Please don't go there. Instead, focus on those things that you can change. There are many things in your life, if you change them, it's going to take you to the top. Take, for example, if you start investing more, few years from today, you will easily become a millionaire. I read the book, The Millionaire Next Door. Let's talk about normal people who just lived within their means and saved judiciously over the years, and boom, the money grew and they became millionaires. You need to live with hope, believe in the future, and take action that is commensurate to that. You need to change how you eat, when you eat, and why you eat. You need to change who you can change who you hang around with and all that. I just said this because most of the times, if you cannot distinguish between the things you can change and the things you cannot change, you are going to get on the wrong path and it's not going to take you far. I've been talking about 52 different strategies that will position you as an immigrant to do well. I'm not talking about a get rich scheme. I'm not talking about you not putting in work and waving the magic wand and everything just coming to you. That's not what I'm talking about. I believe strongly that every immigrant migrates because they're looking for something better. They migrate because they have something in them that is driving them, that I need more. I want to be better. And there's no reason for you to sacrifice and give up all what you have and settle down for less. I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. Nobody's going to do it for you. And instead of blaming other people and allowing your new circumstances to limit you, I want you to rise up. Other immigrants have done it. You too can do it. There is a lot of help available, but you're not going to receive that help until you reach out and ask for help. We're going to be talking about gardening today. Yes, gardening. We'll look at it as a metaphor and look at it in a practical way. I like to garden a lot. In actual fact, I spent 4 hours today in the garden already. I just came back from the garden. I'm very passionate about gardening. There are lots of benefits of gardening. Gardening reduces stress. Gardening enriches your mind. It's a good time of reflection because you are just with yourself. It's a cure to homesickness. Above all, gardening is going to help you with your nutrition. It's going to help with your health because you plant, and the plants that you've planted will leave your garden directly into your pot. We seldomly buy vegetables because I've figured out how to garden around the year. I know what to plant in summer, what to plant in the fall, what to plant over the winter, and what to plant in the spring. In this particular chapter, there is a link for you to search and see what community gardens are available wherever you are living. I bring up this issue of gardening as a metaphor to you learning how to integrate yourself, to integrate your culture, to put down roots, to situate yourself. Now look at it as a metaphor to you learning how to make adjustments, to you learning how to contribute. If you have any desire that is legitimate, that is good, I don't want you to be intimidated by your new environment. I want you to do something about it. Plant some seeds. Start some new relationships. Get out of your comfort zone. Think out of the box, or think even without a box. Gardening takes effort. Gardening takes patience. Gardening takes perseverance. Gardening takes risk. You plant, and some of the crops will fail. For example, this year the weather has been very unpredictable. We had a lot of snowfall in the state of Texas, something that we were not really expecting. And because of that, my tomato plants that I planted all got wiped out. That was the first time. I planted again, the temperatures dropped below freezing again, and the tomatoes got wiped out. That is the second time. I planted again, the third time, and some of them got wiped out. And eventually, I planted the fourth time. I actually planted some today for the fourth time. Some have survived. You have to keep planting. You have to keep planting. People don't know where you're coming from. People don't know about your culture. People don't know about their beliefs. People don't know what is driving you. People don't understand you. It's on you to understand that, so you know the more difficult the soil, the more hard work you're going to need for you to be able to plant something on it. And when you plant, you don't expect fruit the next day. I've planted tomatoes. There's just no way I'm going to fast forward and get tomatoes the next day. I have to wait. I have to wait for these tomatoes to go through the process. And you have to understand that. Don't think because I just showed up, people will warm up to me, embrace me, love me, like me, and help me out. People don't know you. You have to make yourself known. You have to initiate those friendships. You have to give them time. You have to sow if you want to get a harvest. If there's anything that you desire to do, if there's anything that is going to make your life more comfortable, so long as it's not against the law, so long as it's not against character and against your morals, I want you to make sure that thing happens so that your quality of life is going to be that which will position you to do well. I like gardening. When I just came here, there was no way for me to garden. I like to plant crops. I like to see things grow. It's just something in me. I planted my first plant when I was 6 years old. From that day till today, everywhere I go, I have always planted something. I plant tomatoes a lot because I like the tomato fruit. You eat it raw, you use it to make stew and all that. I've planted everywhere I go. So when I came to the United States, a new place, a strange place, and I was trying to figure out what to do. The desire to plant was so strong that eventually we started the first community garden at the University of Texas at Dallas. The first garden in 2006. We initiated that garden, and my quality of life went through the roof because I could take some time off, put my hands in the soil, plant, and watch the plants grow. The desire to plant, the desire to have a garden was so strong that first in the history of that school, we started a garden in the school. I graduated. And the community in which I was living, there was no community garden. Again, the desire to garden, the desire to garden. I was renting a house and planting a few plants behind the house because of a big oak tree. The plants were not really doing well, and I just had this drive in me. We need a garden, we need a garden, we need somewhere to plant. Eventually, we started the first community garden in that community, and that is where I'm gardening right now. What I'm saying is, you need a strong desire. You need a strong desire. You need to desire it very strongly. If you desire it very strongly and focus on it, it's going to happen. I don't know what your own pastime is. I don't know what enriches your life. I want you, don't be intimidated by the environment you're living in. Most of us immigrants, when we move to the United States, we end up in cities because that is where the jobs are and that is where the action is. Don't be intimidated by the city. You can buy land out of the city and start a farm if that is really what you want to do. You can rent. There's just a lot of, and there are community gardens surrounding you. You just need to ask the right people. If you really want to garden, reach out to me. We'll figure out something and situate you. What I'm saying is, you need to take initiative. Don't wait for it to fall on your laps. Get behind it. Push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Planting and waiting takes patience. It takes hard work. I was tilling the whole day today, weeding and taking care of the plants. And that is how you need to understand that the metaphor of you showing up as an immigrant and pursuing whatever your why is. You're going to have to sow, you have to weed and nurture those relationships and nurture that dream. Whatever is pushing you, it's going to take time. Don't circumvent the process. You cannot reap what you've not planted. If you want to harvest avocados, please plant avocados. If you want to harvest maize, please plant maize. If you want to harvest beans, plant beans. As simple as this may sound, a lot of us still plant the wrong type of seeds, and we are hoping against all hope that we're going to harvest something different. What I'm saying is this: if you're not investing in relationships and you just expect that out of a certain people will like you, it's not going to work like that. If you're not saving, don't just expect that your bank account is just going to grow. It doesn't work like that. What are the seeds you're sowing? What are you nurturing? What are you waiting for? What are you hopeful for? What you're doing right now is going to have a serious impact on the outcome that you're going to get. And one of the most critical component of gardening is being able to know the seasons. I cannot overemphasize this. Please, dear immigrant, hear me. You must understand the seasons. Don't just show up here and you see some people driving some fancy cars and living in big houses, and you are envying and desire and you want to have that overnight. You need to understand the seasons. If you don't know when to plant, you're going to miss the season and your crops will fail. And even when you plant, you go through the process. You nurture, you weed, you fertilize, you water, you do everything. If you miss the harvest, your crops are going to be destroyed. That is why timing and knowing the time is very important. Know the seasons. If you cannot plant winter crops in the summer, you cannot plant summer crops in the fall. If it's a summer crop, if the crop is going to need intense heat and less rain, you better know. And that is why it's incumbent for you to keep learning, gather information, keep reading, read books. If you're not reading, please, I challenge you. Reading is not just to pass exams. Reading is not just for grades. Reading is not just for job training. Reading is for life. Leaders read. Those who succeed, they read all the time. It's a lifetime commitment. What book are you reading? What book are you reading right now? Turn off the TV. Turn off that phone, grab a book, and read. Whatever area you need to grow in. There's a lot happening around us right now. People are talking about cryptocurrency. Do you know what that is? Talking about the stock market. Do you know what that is? Real estate. Do you know what that is? And different investment opportunities. You need to read. You need to educate yourself. The degree you get, schooling is just the first step. You've now learned how to read and write. You better leverage it and use it. It's going to help you. We are talking about gardening and what it takes to be a successful gardener. You need to understand the seasons. You need to go through the process. You need to make sure you're planting the right seeds at the right time. You need to make sure the soil is the right soil. And that is why watch out the people you listen to. Watch out the people you hang around with. Watch out the places you go. A farmer, a good gardener, is not going to take their seed and plant it in the middle of their room. As absurd as that sounds, at times the way we live our lives doesn't make sense. How can you keep eating as if there's no tomorrow? Do you know whatever you're putting in your mouth is going to go into your body? Have you thought about that? Don't allow your taste buds alone to lead you. Now, I say this, and before I conclude, I want you to understand something. If your life is not being governed by principles, you're not going to go far. Yes, you've come this far. You've come to one of the greatest countries on earth. Some people don't believe that. But if you chose out of all the countries in the world, and America was the one that you settled on to move to the United States, the country definitely has something to offer that other countries don't. Don't lie to yourself. Don't listen to the lies. And if you really don't like it here, if it's not delivering what you want, please do yourself a favor. Keep moving. Keep moving. Don't settle down for less. Don't settle down and complain and grumble. You can still pack and move. Just get moving. Move to where you're going to flourish. We only have one life. Why are you settling down for less? I'm saying this because in gardening, you must follow the principles. Let's assume it's time for you to plant, and you have some seeds with you, a bushel of corn, or some corn that you need to plant, and you are very hungry. Nothing wrong. You have all the right in the world to feed yourself. You don't want to starve. You are very hungry. It's planting season. You are very hungry, and you have your seed with you. You're very hungry. You are very hungry. You need to eat. And you say, well, I'm very hungry. I'm going to eat my seed. I have to eat it. People will understand. Sure. You go ahead and eat your seed. You don't plant it. When harvest time comes, are you going to harvest anything? You're not, because you didn't follow the principle. You plant if you want to reap. And most of us are like that. Hunger, here again, can be figurative. We have certain desires in us. Oh, the push. I need that car. I need that dress. I need those shoes. I need that house. I need this. I need that. When in actual fact, are just wants. If you allow the externals to drive you without you following principles, you're going to end up in a ditch. It's very important for you to understand the season. Is very important for you to know when to sow, when to reap, when to preserve. And to understand the right soil to put in your seed for it to bring forth fruit. I started by saying gardening was metaphor, and gardening could be actual gardening. I garden a lot. If gardening is something that you enjoy doing, don't allow the city to intimidate you. Desire strongly, something is going to happen. Reach out to me if you want to figure out what to do. I want to thank you so much for watching today. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want you to do that. If you're not following me on Facebook, I want you to do that. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, I want you to do that. Share this video. If you need notifications, click that notification button and let's stay together. You've been listening to Dr. Eric Tangumonkan with iemapproach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. Until next time, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. God bless you. Thank you.